In 1998, a 27-year-old woman was getting ready for a party and didn't like the way her white pants looked. So, she cut the feet off a pair of pantyhose, put them on, and thought, why doesn't this product exist? 2 years later, she had a patent, a product, and a meeting with Neiman Marcus. 5 years later, she was a billionaire, and she did all of it without a single investor, without a business degree, and without anyone believing in her idea. This is the story of Sara Blakely, and it's one of the most unlikely success stories in American business history. Sara Blakely grew up in Clearwater, Florida. Her father was a lawyer who had a unique way of raising his children. Every night at dinner, he would ask Sara and her brother the same question. What did you fail at today? Not what did you accomplish? What did you fail at? If they had nothing to say, he was disappointed. He wanted them to try things. He wanted them to understand that failure was not the opposite of success. It was part of it. That lesson would define everything that came next. After college, Sara tried to get into law school. She failed the LSAT twice. So she took a job selling fax machines door to door in Florida. For 7 years, she knocked on doors, got rejected constantly, and learned how to sell to people who didn't want to buy. It was brutal, unglamorous work, but it taught her something no business school could: how to handle rejection without flinching. In 1998 came the moment that changed everything. She wanted to wear white pants, but didn't like the visible lines from her underwear. She grabbed a pair of regular pantyhose, cut the feet off, and wore them under her pants. It worked perfectly. And then she had a thought that would eventually be worth $1 billion. Why doesn't this product exist already? She started researching. There was nothing on the market that did what she needed, so she decided to make it herself. She had $2,000 in savings. That was her entire starting capital. She spent her evenings researching patents at the library, and on weekends she drove to North Carolina, the hosiery capital of America, to find a manufacturer. She walked into mills and pitched her idea. Every single one turned her down. A woman with no industry experience, no backing, and a hand-drawn sketch was not exactly a compelling business proposal. But one manufacturer called her back 2 weeks later. His daughters had tried the prototype Sara had sent him. They loved it. He decided to take a chance. Sara wrote the patent herself to save money, after spending nights reading every patent book she could find. She chose the name Spanx because she had read that made-up words with a K sound were more memorable in marketing. She designed the packaging herself, a red package with a cartoon woman on it, completely different from every other hosiery product on the market, which used pictures of legs. Then she got the meeting that would change everything. A buyer at Neiman Marcus agreed to give her 10 minutes. Sara didn't have a polished presentation. She didn't have sales data or market research. So, she did something unexpected. She took the buyer to the bathroom and showed her the product on her own body, before and after. The buyer placed an order on the spot. Neiman Marcus was followed by Saks, Bloomingdale's, and Bergdorf Goodman. Sara was running the entire company by herself, packing orders in her apartment, handling customer service, doing her own PR. She couldn't afford advertising, so she sent samples to celebrities and talked her way into getting Spanx mentioned on Oprah's Favorite Things list in 2000. That one mention changed everything overnight. The phones didn't stop ringing for weeks. By 2001, Spanx had made over $4 million in sales, without a single dollar of outside investment, without a marketing budget, without a team. Just one woman, $2,000, and an idea she refused to let go of. In 2012, Forbes named Sara Blakely the world's youngest female self-made billionaire. She was 41 years old. But here's the part of the story that most people never hear. When Blackstone offered to acquire a majority stake in Spanx in 2021, valuing the company at $1.2 billion, Sara celebrated by giving every single one of her employees 2 first-class plane tickets to anywhere in the world and $10,000 cash. Every employee. because she hadn't forgotten what it felt like to knock on doors alone, with nothing but a belief in an idea that everyone else thought was ridiculous. She still remembers the fax machine. She still remembers the rejection. She still remembers cutting the feet off a pair of pantyhose in her apartment and thinking, this could be something. $2,000, a bathroom demonstration, and a question her father asked every night at dinner. What did you fail at today? Turns out, not enough.